Hello, everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about picking the right partner, male partner for the apocalypse. Now, if you've been following me lately, you'll notice that I am moving into a theme of bad things happening in the next few years because it's coming. It is coming. Lots of bad things are coming. And that's especially concerning for women, of course, because it's going to, you know, things are not going to be as easy. There's going to be a lot of problems. There's going to be food shortages. There's going to be all kinds of things. And so it's really important for a woman when looking for a partner as a man, for a man, that you're picking the right partner, that you know what to look for, right? Because there's lots of men out there that you might be quite attracted to that are in no way qualified or competent to deal with a very different world that we're moving into. Uh, Women need to be safe. They need to be safe. They need to be protected from what's coming, right? And you can look throughout history, all of the massive economic collapses that have happened throughout history, even just recent history, right? Like Venezuela would be one of the more recent ones. Venezuela used to be, I think, the richest country in the world, or certainly one of the richest countries in the world. Now it's a third world shithole, right? Now people are eating their pets. Um, you know, that's a pretty big shift, right? And for as a man, right, I'm always focused on this kind of thing. My main focus, well, I got multiple focuses, right? I've got a focus on changing the world in a very positive way, right? Helping men and women polarize themselves and create the dream relationship and break the intergenerational trauma cycle and get everything that they want in life, right? Obviously that's a huge passion of mine. That's my purpose, really. Another, though, is making sure that people are safe, right? I want everyone to be as safe as possible with what's coming, and especially that means my immediate family, or like my parents, my old immediate family, I guess. I don't know what you call that. And then also my wife and my daughter, most of all. And so I've been preparing for this for 11 years, right? And I have, just like in my business, I have a vision of what do I want to create, right? How am I going to help people? How am I going to deliver maximum benefits for all of my clients, and also for people in my free group and other offers and all of that, right? I'm always thinking about that. How am I going to build this? And it's the same kind of vision, like foresight, like years into the future, the big picture, for how am I going to protect my family? How am I going to provide for my family? What am I going to do? What are we going to do when there is no food in the grocery stores, or when the prices are 10 times higher than they are now? Because that's going to happen. That's an inevitability at this point. It's not going to be forever, but it is going to happen. It is going to be something that we're going to have to deal with. So men who are truly dominant, who are truly safe to submit to, they're thinking about these things. They're aware of what is happening in the world. They're fully aware of it. They are immune to the brainwashing that is being delivered by the media, by government mouthpieces, by schools, by everything, right? They know, they see it, and they don't just see it and talk about it. They do something about it. They do something about it. They are men of action. So they can't be manipulated, or at least they're very difficult to manipulate by their woman or by the powers that be. And then they are always taking action to keep themselves and those in their care safe and comfortable and ideally prosperous, ideally thriving. Um, so 2 years ago, when this whole pandemic thing happened, I had already built a house. I custom designed it. It was a close to off grid, passive solar. Barely needs any heating house in Canada, where it's fucking cold, and it snows way too many months of the year. And I was living in the near Toronto with my wife, so obviously a huge population center. And then this whole thing happened. So my immediate thing, and even before it was even really in the news at all, my immediate thought is, okay, we got to get the hell out of here. We got to get out of here, and I got to start working on my property and building a massive garden and becoming as food sufficient as possible and as just sufficient in general as possible. And so we moved. Now, it's taken a bit longer for things to really get out of control. Like the last 2 years has been a bit of a shit show in many ways, but it's actually been relatively still normal, business as usual. It's not going to be for much longer. Um, men, dominant men, need to be able to lead, bring community together, be self-sufficient, and prepare, in every way possible to take care of their woman, to take care of their children, to take care of their community. They need to have the vision for that. They need to be able to not be have immunity to being manipulated, to really see the big picture, to really see truth as it is, right? Um, if I was a woman, if I was a woman, I would be, and like if I'm a single woman, right? If I'm in a relationship, it would be a bit different. But if I was a single woman and I was dating, right, I would be screening these men out really quickly at this point. Time's ticking down. Uh, you know, Especially if I was a single mother, even more so. But single woman, I would be really focused on this. Now you got to be careful when all this fear stuff comes up that you don't get into your masculine. You don't start screening men out in a masculine way, of course, with all these expectations. It's more of a feeling, right? It's like, how does this man make you feel? If you know what's going on in the world and have a general idea of what will go on in the world in the future, you need to be able to screen men out who are not going to be able to keep you safe, right? Now, there's many forms of safety. One form of safety that we talk about all the time is, safety from like a man's emotional reactions, right? A man who's able to stay fully emotionally centered when he's leading, without attacking you, without trying to subjugate you, all of this stuff. So that's one really important form of safety. And then another, of course, is being able to provide and protect. So if you have an idea of what's coming down the pipe in the next few years, and you are talking to this man, and you have, you're asking questions and having fun, right? Dating's all about having fun. And he's talking about, like he's just oblivious to what's going on, or he knows what's going on, but he's not proactive in any way to do anything about it. Do you really want to um do you really want to take the risk of being with that man, right? um I wouldn't. I definitely wouldn't. I would not feel safe as a woman to do that, right? I would need a man, if I'm putting myself in, okay, I'm going to pretend to be a woman now. I would need a man that I know I can just let go fully with everything. And of course, he's going to be able to get things handled. He's been making good investments. He's, I don't know, finding a rural property somewhere. He's able to garden. He's able to fix stuff. He's able to, you know, physically protect me from, um, marauders or the government or something. He knows how to shoot. He knows all of these things, right? This is what men used to be able to do, even just 100 years ago, less than 100 years ago. Now, men are very soft. Men are very, they're not really thinking about self sufficiency. They're not thinking about much that's actually important, and that's really challenging for women who are aware, who are awake. It doesn't mean that there's not lots of men who are aware and who can plan and all of this stuff. It just, we're still talking in um so as like a minority. Now, one of the things that I did as a man, now it's totally different because I didn't need a woman who could protect me or provide for me or anything like that. But when I was dating, my entire focus is I am going to screen the shit out of everybody. Right? I am looking for someone really specific here. And I am just and so how did I screen people out? How did I screen women out? By just fully putting myself out there in every way, and just let women screen themselves out. Right? That made my life a lot easier. I don't want to pretend to be someone I'm not, or to have beliefs that I'm not, that I don't have. And as a woman, it should more be about to not pretend to not have fears that you actually do have, right? Real concerns that you do have, real sadness and other feelings that you do have. Don't pretend to not have that. I'm going to take a few, see if there's any questions or comments here. I love this topic, by the way. I just want to talk about it more and more. Not knowing, it's not a matter of knowing how to pick the right man, it's the fact that there are no real men left. Well, maybe in your reality, maybe in your world, there are no real men left. I'm a real man. I know many other men who are real men, who are fully aware of what's going on, who can provide and protect for a woman, who can lead a woman. So the question is, if you are if in your world there are no real men left, then look at yourself and think, what am I doing to not attract those kind of real men? Are there really no real men? No, there are. Why are they not in my life? What am I doing to energetically repel them? How am I communicating to repel them? What am I doing with my behaviors? What about my beliefs? Right? How am I treating these men? There's many different possibilities, but what is definitely a fact is there are definitely a reasonable amount of these real men who are fully aware of what's going on, who can provide and protect for you, even when this world turns upside down. Right? You need to know how to attract them, because those kind of men are going to be very highly sought after, right? Like if a man can lead a woman who he's masculine, he can lead a woman. He doesn't wear slave masks. He stands up to the government. He is willing to, or he has a vision of what is going on in the world and knows how to insulate himself and his loved ones from it. He's going to be in very high demand. There's going to be lots of women who are going to be very attracted to him, right? And there's going to be lots of women that he's not going to be interested in, right? Yeah, they're not going to be single for very long. So as a woman, you need to focus on becoming the absolute best woman that you can be, where you are going to be able to, um, I'll use the word give him everything that he needs. Now, by give, I don't mean stepping into your masculine and mothering and being able to provide or do 50-50 or anything like that, right? What a man needs now and in the apocalypse is a woman that can inspire him, right? Like, I think about my wife and my daughter, and every I work long ass days, right? Like, I do so much for my business, and then I do so much on my property to get things further ready, and then I also do so much, just buying the right stuff and investments and all of that stuff. I work like oh, and I'm taking care of my daughter to help my wife. So I almost never have any actual real downtime. This is my downtime, talking about fun stuff. So I need a woman who is not going to drain me by challenging me, by boring me, by setting boundaries, by questioning me, by being needy in the sense like there's nothing wrong with when a woman actually feels needy. It's when she's bleeding that neediness into a man's boundaries, right? A woman could say I feel needy, and my wife could, that'd be totally fine to me. There's no problem with it. It's just the needy behavior. All of that drains a man and doesn't inspire a man, right? I feel super inspired to be the best man that I can be for my wife, and to protect her in now and in the future, right? What's always on my mind is, okay, if this happens in the future, if there's food shortages a year from now, how can I make sure that my wife still has food that she loves to eat, that where she's not gonna just want to kill herself because life just sucks now? What can I do to prepare for that? How can I take care of that possibility, or really inevitability, so that she's still well fed and taken care of, and happy and comfortable, right? Those are the things that I love thinking of. That's fun for me. I'm inspired to do that, but only when I'm getting respect from a woman. Only when, like for in my case, my wife. Only when I'm really getting everything that I need as a man from her, which is mainly respect and vulnerability and trust and all of those things. Now, obviously, it's great, having a woman that can cook and take care of a child and all of those things as well. That's super important. But I'm just focusing on the really polarized important stuff. See if we got more questions or comments here. Man needs to read his environment and figure out the best chances at survival. Peaceful times allow men to put down their armor, but peaceful times are sadly rare and fleeting. Absolutely, right? And it's always a cycle. And every time, men let their guard down, and most end up being unprepared when things go to hell. But historically, we know that never lasts. It might last a generation, or um, when was the last time things were pretty shitty in North America? I suppose that would be World War II, with like severe food rationing, and most of the men, or a lot of the men, had to go off to war, um, and that put an extra burden on women. And we're in for something much worse than that. By the way, I'm just going to take where am I at? 18 minutes right now. I'm going to take a brief intermission here before I continue talking about this topic. Um, so for women, but also, and this is also for men, but for women, if you have not taken our masterclass yet with Mark Benet and I, 2-hour long masterclass where we will teach you all the basics and a lot of the intermediary stuff about feminine communication and masculine communication for men. uh, you'll learn a lot about how to inspire men, and communicate with men in a way that is going to get them to step up, to claim you, to want to take care of you, to be inspired to be responsible and start seeing themselves and their behavior in a way that, well, ultimately you need to feel safe and to be safe. um, Learning this communication is the only way that you are going to create a healthy polarized relationship with a man, where he's going to want to take care of you, he's going to want to lead you, he's going to want to be a better man for you every day. Everybody should be, at least at a bare minimum, take this masterclass. You're going to save so much time and energy and mistakes, time that you cannot afford to waste at this point. You're going to learn so much in such a short period of time. So our next two, there's one on the 21st and there's one on the 31st Eastern Standard Time. If you're interested in that, comment below, I want in, on this video, on this post, and I will get back to you and I will send you the link. All right. So comment, I want in. All right. So I'm going to read the next couple comments here. Do you think it's going to be extra important for women to not hold on to control around a man's surface traits if he has deeper qualities of providership in this context? There's a lot of men I know who talk about protection, but I feel uneasy about in other ways. Well, it really depends what, okay, well, first of all, when you're talking about holding on to control. So a woman shouldn't be holding on to control with anything when it comes to a man. Surface qualities, deeper qualities, anything. Now, we might be this might be a semantics issue, but so in general, if you are trying to control anything, hold on to control in anything, and you're in your masculine, and that is the best way to ensure that a man doesn't shift any of his qualities and become a better man for you. So we don't want that, right? And just briefly going back to feminine communication and all the stuff that we teach you in the master class, the feminine communication isn't about the words; it's about showing you. Well, it partly is, but it's mainly about showing you how to let go of control, right? Shifting your energy by shifting the words, because just telling you, hey, just let go of control. Oh, as if it was that easy, right? As if you could just let go of control and then you're there. No, this is something that takes months, if not years. Well, months of practice in the academy, in our academy program, certainly years and years and years, if not decades, um, if you're not consciously doing this work every day, right, and understanding how feminine communication works. So now, so if you're asking about letting go of control around a man's surface traits, if he has like surface traits like what, like if you feel uneasy, that could be your own wounding, right? But there's a very good chance that it's because he's just not fully safe as a man. He might be able to protect in many ways. He might be able to protect in the apocalypse, right? He might have 50 guns and know how to use them and have 10 years of food stockpiles, in some undisclosed location. And that's fantastic. But then he's not fully dominant as a man, right? Maybe he's not fully centered. He's not able to lead you from that truly loving place all the time. He's critical, or leads with a subjugating kind of energy, or he's not truly honorable. Well, that wouldn't be, none of that would be honorable, but not honorable in other ways, like he's not true to his word, or he holds things back that he should be telling you, or whatever. So if any of that kind of stuff or other stuff is making you uneasy, maybe he looks at other women, or you can feel his container is just not truly fully solid in every way, then yeah, you are going to feel uneasy. But again, it comes back to trying to control or hold on to control, or like not being able to fully drop into your feminine. That's not going to serve you. Right? That's not going to serve you. You need to be able to learn how to communicate in your feminine all the time. How does that make you feel? Well, okay, you feel uneasy, you feel anxious. Can you explain all of that in a feminine way while your man is leading you to open you up to understand, so that he can be inspired to start setting better boundaries for himself and strengthening his own container? If you can't, well, that's going to be a really big problem, even if he does have 10 years of food stockpiles. You're not going to have a very fun apocalypse that way. And even in good times, you're not going to have a fun, prosperous time either with him, because the polarity is all messed up, right? That's not real healthy polarity. Being subjugated, being criticized as a woman, that's not healthy. That's not going to feel good. Um, I want every woman to be in a relationship where their man is always focused on becoming better for them. That they feel inspired at all times. They realize that they're not perfect. Right? I'm not perfect either. All right. I'm still not 100% perfect with my wife. It's always a journey to take myself to the next level. But my focus is I want to be, and I know how, and I'm always working towards it. And I always also know how to lead my wife further into becoming more feminine and being more inspiring for me. Right? All of this is really important. If you don't have that motivation as a man, um, then a man's gonna stay stuck, right? And if a man doesn't know how to lead his woman to be inspiring, then he's his growth is going to be hindered, right? He might still be growing, but he's never going to grow as fast as when his woman is truly inspiring, right? And if he's not able to lead his woman to be inspiring, well, then he's not really growing, is he? Isn't that interesting? Because how is a man going to be growing to become a better man? He's going to be growing by learning how to lead his woman better, to lead her into her feminine, to letting go of control, letting go of um, judgments and blame and stories, and getting her into her heart. So if he's not becoming increasingly inspired over time, then he's probably not growing at all. Or at least not in the right way, right? Not in the right way, not in the way that we teach in our academy, and also in our polarity masterclass. Would you nurture your wife's projects when she has time to do them? And would you support and encourage her to be as successful as she can be? And would you mind if she brought back more money than you in the household? Yeah. So first of all, I would love to nurture any of my wife's projects. I think that that is really important for when I have the time for it. Right now, she doesn't have any because she's taking care of our newborn, and that's her project. And yes, I am supporting that project by putting as much time as I reasonably can and energy into giving her breaks and everything. Um, so this is an important part. We're getting a bit off topic, but this is okay because I love these questions. Uh, would I encourage her to be as successful as she can be? Okay, so that's interesting. Would I encourage her to be as successful as she can be? So what does that mean? My focus is I want her to be as feminine as she can be. Now, a woman can be very feminine and still have, certain projects and be financially successful and all of that kind of stuff. Um, that is possible, right? The problem is that most forms of financial success require a woman to be more masculine, be more masculinized. So I would have to look at what these projects are and see, first of all, can I help her in a way that where she doesn't get masculinized, right? So for example, she loves interior decorating. She's actually incredible at it. Our house is absolutely gorgeous on the inside. Um, and she, yeah, she's really talented for it. She's very aesthetically talented. And I think that at some point, it might be a bit more challenging in the apocalypse, but at some point, I think that she should do something with it, right? Because she's got more talent than most interior decorators. I've seen those like housing interior decoration shows. Those people, most of them are like have no talent at all. I don't even know how they have TV shows. They're like a lot of those interior homes are ugly. But anyway, sidetracking. I would want to help her with something like that, but a lot of that would be really masculine. So I would want to help ease that burden in some way by hiring someone for her, whatever, so she can just focus on making stuff look really beautiful, and talking about it and whatever in a way where she can stay feminine and not have to step up into her masculine. Most of those women on those shows, by the way, are very masculine, and they've got little men that follow them along and do all the construction, and just they just do as they're told, and it's very depolarized and not good, not good. uh Men have no backbone. They did not teach their women feminine communication. So I would, I would definitely want them to do that, want my wife to do that. If she made more money than that is basically impossible. It's certainly the kind of money that I'm making, but it's impossible in general unless she's very much in her masculine. So could I support her stuff by making her life a lot easier, her business a lot easier, and then she brings in a lot of money? Yeah, I could, but she wouldn't be doing that on her own, right? That would basically become much more my business at this point, right? Because I'd be doing so much of the organizing, the planning, and then it would more be like she's working for me. She would be in that feminine role. I'm not going to support her in any masculine enterprise because I don't want her to spend 8 hours a day or 4 hours a day being really masculine. I'm not going to support that. I'm not going to enable that. That's not, that's like that's not going to ultimately make her happy. What's going to make her happy is becoming increasingly feminine. So I'm not going to do anything that's going to hinder that. If she makes money by being really feminine, if she became like a popular YouTube star doing interior decorating and making millions of dollars, and I helped with that, by being that masculine for her, super. I'm not threatened by that in any way. That's great. Yeah. So okay. So it's no more comments. So um, I'm gonna final words here is that a woman's choice in a man is pretty much the most important decision she could ever make. It's a super important decision. You don't want to fuck that up. You really don't want to make the wrong choice there. Now, if you do make the wrong choice because you were more in your masculine, when you met him, you met a more feminine man who doesn't have the vision and all that kind of stuff, you making a lot of feminine shifts can help inspire a man to become a much more prepared man with vision, with who's able to lead all of that stuff. So it's not a total lost cause. It's not like you necessarily have to leave such a man. But if you're single right now, how about you don't make that mistake in the first place? How about you make a really great decision by finding the right kind of man? How are you going to do that? You're going to do that by making your main focus in your life, other than your children. Obviously, that's going to be super important. But other than that, um, that's if you have children. Other than that, it's to polarize yourself, right? It's to become as feminine as possible, and that's going to be a lot more than just doing sexy yoga poses and dancing and all of that nice stuff. That's all great, but then when it comes to interacting with a man, you need to, it's like, how can I illustrate it? I have something in my head somewhere. It's not coming to me. You could be really feminine in certain areas, right? With moving your body and just letting go and all that stuff. And then when it comes to a man, every single one of your traumas came up and you are totally controlling and in your head, out of your body, um, not respecting him. You're inhibiting yourself, all of that kind of stuff. You're in the giving role, right? All of that stuff. And so, how much did your dancing and yoga poses do for you? It didn't do anything at all. You're going to attract emasculated men that couldn't lead themselves out of a paper bag, let alone lead you safely through the apocalypse, right? That's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for anybody. You want to stay away from those men. So you need to shift your communication. That shifting your communication is going to shift your energy, and it's going to it takes time, right? And when you start interacting with men, that the control and the fear and everything is going to come up, and you stay using the feminine communication, you get more into your heart, you start owning your needs increasingly, you start letting go more, you start feeling all of the stuff that comes up and healing all of the stuff that comes up. All of the armor that's around your heart will slowly start to melt away, and you'll start to inspire more masculine men, more devoted men who can lead you safely through the apocalypse. And as you're doing that, and you're being more honest with yourself and what you need and what you feel, you're going to be screening the wrong kinds of men out. So you're not wasting days or weeks or months or, God forbid, years with them, which you don't have years. And just finding the right men really quick. And a big part of this too is making that decision for yourself that I need a man. I am only going to be with a man where I know that, like, I feel safe, or like he's really putting in the effort to make me feel safe, make me feel secure, from that place of dominance, right? You got to be clear. It's not about setting standards and expectations. It's about honoring your heart. It's about knowing how worthy and deserving your heart is of the most amazing kind of man. You deserve that. Do you know that you deserve that? Because if you don't, and you're not acting on it by using feminine communication in a fully uninhibited way, then you're going to be attracting a man that's less than you deserve, and he's not going to be able to keep you safe with what's coming. So, feminine communication, it really is the key to everything. You make these external shifts and you start, and as you do that, the more external shifts you make, the more that your internal reality starts to shift and you finally start to let go of control. You start to feel fully safe in your body, able to express from that beautiful, vulnerable place. And it just gets better and better. If you want to learn how to do that, and shave literally, even just this 2-hour masterclass could literally shave years off your learning curve. Now, of course, I don't know how long your learning curve is. It depends where you're at, and it depends how focused you're on this work. But it's going to really take you a long way and help you avoid a lot of mistakes. Give you so much more clarity on what you're doing wrong and what you need to be doing, how you need to shift. If you're in a relationship, why your relationship isn't working. If you're single, why you're not being claimed, or you're not attracting the right kind of men. It all comes down to communication. The communication is just a reflection of your beliefs, of your level of femininity, and so that's what we're going to really help you shift. What we're going to do is we're going to talk for 2 hours about feminine communication, and then we are going to talk about, then we're going to role play. Sorry, we're going to talk about feminine communication, then we're going to role play what it actually looks like. We're going to show you feminine communication. We're also going to show you masculine communication. And that's why this masterclass is just as important for men, showing men how to lead in all of these difficult situations. Men, you definitely don't want a woman who is nagging you and blaming you all the time in normal times, but especially when you have to actually get your shit together to keep your family safe, when you actually got all this stuff to do. So you're going to learn all of this in a really quick period of time. It's going to be really fun, really interactive. If you haven't done the masterclass yet, you need to do this. It's really going to make things a lot smoother for you moving forward, regardless of what's coming down the pipe in the next few years. It's only $47. I mean, it's super cheap. We make it super affordable because, first of all, we want everyone to have at least some of these really great shifts, many of which are easy to implement. And then secondly, because we know that we're going to blow a lot of you away and you're going to be really interested in finding out more about the Academy program, which is our full 6-month transformative program where you go from wherever you are right now to day and night transformative difference, right? Men learn how to fully lead a woman out of anything. A woman learns how to inspire a man to become his absolute best self. So that's why we make it so affordable. So $47, like, how can you say no to that? That's like the cost of going to the movies. You'd be honestly crazy not to sign up and learn how to change your life in this very easy to implement way. So if you're interested in that, comment in the comments below. I want in, right? 3 words. And I will get back to you. I will reach out. I will send you a private message with the link, which will give you more information. And then you can book your spot. Spots are running out. So this is something you should be doing sooner rather than later. After these spots in May, we're probably not going to have something till late June or at least mid-June. So get in on this one if time allows, for sure. Comment I want in, and I will reach out to you, and I will see you in the masterclass. Thank you for tuning into this live stream, and hopefully I'll also see you on the next one. Bye now.